Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at hookah_anonymous_. Alright, we're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at hookah_anonymous_. Alright, now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, before managing to escape prison and being known for breaking out of one of Philadelphia's toughest correctional facilities, AMEEN HURST was most known for being suspected of having a hand in about 4 murders at just 16 years old. That was the original reason why he was incarcerated in the first place, as he would be facing 32 separate criminal counts and 4 separate murders and 2 attempted murders at the tender age of only 16. He's now 18 years old, and once again, for all the youngins watching this video, I mainly cover these stories for y'all because I know a lot of young dudes glorify the drill culture because your favorite rapper only show you the lifestyle they live, right? However, there's a side of the drill culture and street life that nobody speaks about, and usually it's the guys who we don't see who are suffering from it. They're not showing you the teenagers who are getting 20 to 30 years in prison, where their life is pretty much over. They're not showing you the teenagers who aren't making it to see 20 years old or even fully get to explore the world because they lost their life. Alright, they're not showing you any of that. So, like I always say, I'm not going to preach to you, but I will try and make sure you're at least aware of both sides of the spectrum so you could at least be aware. Anything else is totally up to you. So let's get into AMEEN HURST and how the young man managed to do the unthinkable and escape jail at just 18 years old. Now, in the span of killings which began on Christmas Eve of 2020 all the way up to March 18th of 2021, AMEEN HURST is said to be the teenager at the time behind them all. One of the killings was even carried out outside of a prison of all places, showing that Hurst, who was accused of the murder, had no care towards police at all. But it all started back on December 24th, 2020, where a shooting left 20-year-old Dawood Nashawn Scruggs dead while he was streaming live on social media. Reports say he was waiting for the bus to go to work when he realized someone following him, so he began walking, and the individual began walking faster, and suddenly the shooter fired at least 15 shots at him, killing him on the scene. The entire incident was caught on surveillance. At the time, Dawood was a very notable social media comedian from Philly on the rise. AMEEN HURST was charged for that murder in March of 2021, but police also learned that in between December and March, Hurst would be involved in 2 more murders that occurred March 11th. Hurst shot 4 men sitting in a parked car on the 1400 block of North 76th Street in Overbrook Park. 24-year-old Naquan Smith and 17-year-old Tamir Brown passed away while the other 2 victims survived the attack. Then, just 1 week later after that, this is the brazen attack that took the cake for Hurst on March 18th, when he would fatally shoot 20-year-old Rodney Hargrove, who was just released from jail and was waiting to be picked up by some relatives. Reports say that AMEEN HURST chased Rodney down in a car as he tried to run back to the current Fromhold Correctional Facility in hopes that police presence would hopefully stop the car from chasing him down, but unfortunately, that did not happen. Some say they believe Rodney was killed due to a mistaken identity. Now, on top of all those charges, Hurst was also connected to 2 robberies and was charged with robbery, illegal gun possession, conspiracy, and other related offenses. With all those charges, although Hurst was only 16 years old, he went on the run as he would go from place to place before eventually being captured and held without bail. However, Hurst just wouldn't stop there, because on May 7, 2023, he would come up with a brazen plan to escape, and yes, I said escape, the Philadelphia Industrial Correctional Center, along with another inmate by the name of 24-year-old Nasir Grant. Grant was arrested in September of 2022 and charged with 6 counts of illegal gun possession, manufacturing and delivering drugs, receiving stolen property, conspiracy, and related charges. He was being held on $500,000 bail and had a jury trial scheduled for January of 2024. On May 7th, Grant and Hurst would take full advantage of the staff shortage at the facility, which is what allowed them to go unnoticed for at least 24 hours. Now it's being said that the two men went outside to the yard area, and that's where they were able to escape through a triangular shaped hole that had been cut into the fence. Now doors to their holding cells and an outdoor recreation yard were left unlocked. It's also alleged the pair were captured on video cutting a hole in a perimeter fence with an unknown tool. After successfully cutting the hole, reports say Hurst and Grant hopped 2 barbed wire fences and escaped onto the 8300 block of State Road. Before exiting the facility, there's 2 posts, the armed perimeter patrol and the armed post by the gate leading to the back road. Normally, people would be there monitoring, but this is where the 2 men took advantage of the understaffed facility. David Robinson, who is president of Local 159 and concerns of the Correctional Officers Union, says that the 2 posts have been shut down for a year now and expressed that they were shut down due to corners being cut. Now, when they say certain things like that, to elaborate, they're pretty much saying that maybe the city is probably taking money from the correctional officers or don't want to pay them, and maybe that's why it was shut down and nobody was there. Best believe when y'all go back and y'all hear that doors was left open for these guys, 9 times out of 10 correctional officers did that purposely just to show the city or whoever's in control that they need them there to protect or house these inmates. You know, it's one of those situations where you purposely make things go wrong so you could get a reaction in hopes of your favor. But anyway, a spokesperson for the jail says staff conducted 3 inmate counts before it was realized that Grant and Hurst were gone, and at first no one even thought that they have escaped. However, in order for 3 counts to be performed, and they said it was nobody that realized that the 2 were gone, it's pretty obvious that somebody is lying. You know, now reports say staff didn't know until the inmates told them the next day. Now in total, 10 days went by before both men were eventually caught by federal agents in a mass hunt in an attempt to catch the duo. Nasir Grant was the first to be caught just a few days later as Marshals spotted him leaving a North Philadelphia residence dressed in full female Muslim garb. Grant got into a car that agents tracked to a nearby parking lot where they swooped in and arrested him without any resistance. He is now being held on $1 million bond. On the other hand, it was a little more work capturing Hurst, although he's younger than Grant, but it's also believed that Hurst traveled to New York before coming back to Philadelphia, where he was captured by U.S. Marshals. Now, before we get into how he was captured, Hurst's story is a little more different and interesting. It involves some of his relatives that tried helping him and aid him as he was on the run, but we also learned that someone in his family, who wasn't named specifically, negotiated deals at least 3 times with the police to capture him as well. So some funny things going on. Now we also have a woman on Twitter who seemed upset at how police handled his capture and had a few things to say as regards to his capture, and she would actually implicate that before Hurst was captured, he actually went to Mexico. Alright, now I don't know how true that is, but if it is in fact true, right? My only question is, if he did in fact make it to Mexico, what in the world made him come back? But anyway, this is what she had to say in the tweet. She said, quote, "He was in Mexico. He came back, but you wouldn't know that because you know him, right?" Then in another tweet, she responded to a Fox 29 tweet about his capture, where she said, quote, "Y'all told his mother to turn him in, and while she was doing it, y'all want to act like y'all found him. He was already turning himself in. That's why it was with no incident." Alright? Now, I'm assuming that the person who negotiated anything with the Marshals 9 times out of 10 was the mother. Alright? One thing I do know when it comes to being in trouble with the police or the law period, your mother is always going to be the one telling you to do the right things because she's pretty much scared. You know, I'm sure in this case his mother was just scared and wanted him to turn himself in so he wouldn't be harmed in any way, whether it's by police, the ops, or, you know, or getting into a shootout with the police or whatever. You know, she was just scared. But what I gather is that he was already turning himself in. But the police wanted to make it seem like it was good police work and make it look as if they captured him to show the public as if they were on their job. When in reality, the mother or someone close probably is the one who gave up his whereabouts. You know, because according to reports, U.S. Marshals say Hurst was arrested after missing 3 deadlines. One at midnight and 2 more early Wednesday morning deadlines in which they claim someone from his family made negotiations with them. I'm assuming someone gave the drop to the marshals on where he'll be at and what time. So agents waited outside a home in Southwest Philly Wednesday morning and closed in on Hurst and his brother, 24-year-old AMEEN Woods, as they were seen leaving the home and getting into a car. That's where marshals swarmed the vehicle and pulled out the 2 brothers. Now, it's being alleged that Woods helped Hurst arrange for transportation during his time away from prison, which would be considered aiding a fugitive. So AMEEN was also arrested with Hurst. AMEEN's bail was set at $1 million, which is kind of crazy, and Hurst's bail was set at $25 million. Ironically, AMEEN has a full basketball scholarship to a university in Kentucky, in which I doubt he'll be able to take full advantage of anymore. But that's the streets for you. This is the reality of it, man. And he had a full basketball scholarship. It's crazy because I'm sure he probably didn't even think what he was doing was that wrong. You know, they probably, or maybe he wasn't doing anything. Maybe he was just transporting his brother around, because how you going to tell your brother no? I don't care what type of trouble you in. I mean, your brother's in, right? If your brother say, yo, I need you to take me here, or I need you to do this, or I need you to do the X, Y, and Z, you're not going to tell your brother no, especially if you know he's in a bad predicament. So maybe that's all he was doing, but in the process of doing that, he got himself in trouble as well. And they said that his bail was set at $1 million. So that means they're really trying to charge him as well. I hope he don't get nothing crazy, because I personally feel that he was just trying to do a good deed for his brother, man. And in return, he ended up getting sucked into it. So to be honest with you, man, right now, Hurst is in a very bad situation, because to me, honestly, his best bet was just to go to Mexico or wherever he was going and to never return. Because at the end of the day, now, the type of things he's going to experience in jail, for one, you're already in jail, right? You got your freedom taken away. It's over. But to flee a jail, now they're going to put you in either a max, or they're going to make your time even more harder. It's going to be like you in jail. Because now you already showed them that you can escape from jail. You are known as an escapee. So they got to go the extra mile to keep you in jail, make sure you're not out of their sight. Whether it's 23-1, meaning that you got 23 hours in your cell and you only come out for an hour to make calls or eat your food and shower, all that within that 1 hour, or maybe they just might be a little more extensive because of what he put them through. So his time is definitely going to be a lot more harder, and then it's not going to look good when you go in front of the judge and fight all the cases that he got, including the 4 murders and the robberies. It's a lot going on, man. Usually I'll just say it is what it is, but to be honest with you, I know he may have did what he did wrong in the street, but this kid is young. He's 18 years old. When he caught the bodies that he caught allegedly, he was 16 years old. So I think with a little guidance, a lot of these kids these days, man, instead of going that other route, if you show them a little more, whether it's money, whether it's vacationing, whether it's food, women, or whatever it is, they got to open their eyes, man, because it's more than just the hood that they're from. But if they're not exposed to that type of information or that type of scenery, then how would they ever know about it? They only know what they see. You are a product of your environment. And it's just unfortunate now that 9 times out of 10, his life is taken away. So, let this be a life lesson to any of the youngins that's watching this, or even some of the grown-ups that's still stuck out there doing what they're doing. Just be careful, man. Y'all jump in the comments, let me know how y'all feel about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.